Edwards, 17 Market Square. I'm with the Knoxville Chamber. At the risk of being a Johnny-come-lately into this issue, we did wait until after MPC completed its report, because as we followed it, it did take a whole lot of different nick and turns. And things that sounded like they were going to be really draconian in the spring did get resolved. And there's a lot of stuff that we think are very positive in this plan. First of all, let me say unequivocally, whether it is the 3 major ridges or the 7 major ridges, we think that y'all could not move quick enough to protect the ridge tops in Knox County. But you really need to set a elevation that's going to make sense, and not any summit of anything that has any elevation. And I think you all saw some of that at Park West Hospital last summer, when obviously that was not Sharp's Ridge. I spent some time trying to figure out how to do and I apologize for this, but to do a visual aid, and ended up going to Julia, a lawyer who's in kindergarten at Bearden Elementary. Luckily for me, her mom is an advanced math teacher at Bearden, but this is 50% grade. This is a no-brainer, right? I mean, you know, we know that 50% is, you know, you can just take a look at it. Sevier County is 30% grade. And I've been in development, but, you know, I think that could be argued either way, but the truth of the matter is, what they're trying to do in Sevier County to protect things like Wares Valley and stuff, I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad that MPC, Tony, Joe, everybody else who spent so much time on this thing has done it here. It is important. However, that's 15% grade. And our point at the Chamber is that we believe that 15%, whether we've always done it or we're talking about doing it now, is a stretch. We don't believe that that level of slope is going to be a detriment in Knox County. The part that concerns us is that this is a plan. It's all it is a plan. And if you adopt it, the plan will be, the protection plan will go into place, and just like that, there's going to be, following the plan, a set of regulations that will have the form of ordinances that will dictate and determine how that plan is going to be executed. We're not comfortable, and I understand it's never been done this way, but we've never done a slope protection before. We think that if you're going to adopt a plan, then adopt a plan contingent upon you later adopting the regulations that go along with it, so you can look at the two and see if you can live with it. Don't adopt a plan, have it in place, and then deal with the regulations later, even though it's never been done before. The issue on the notices, we've had a gazillion public, if you think about the number of public hearings we have every year about every issue, be honest with yourself, how many people are actually paying attention to what's going on in public meetings? They're just not. It's easy for us to think they are, because that's where we live. But if there were more people who knew who the Vice President of the United States was, or that Egypt is in the middle of, you know, I'd feel a lot better about it. But the truth of the matter is, there's a whole lot of people who do not know this is going on. And it's not developers, it is property owners that have been around a good while, and I will tell you this, they have not got a clue what the slope of their land is. And if you liken it to a sector plan is two-dimensional. You're looking at it and you know you live on Washington Pike, you can put your finger there and you say, well, yeah, I'm in the sector plan. On a slope protection, you have no idea because you don't know, even if you're looking at a map and even if you think you can understand the grades and stuff, you really don't understand what that means, but more than likely you're not going to look at the map. That's why we think that it's important, and this is an example, it's an example that has come up since our board meeting. People could easily have pledged their property as collateral for something. That property could become considered to be devalued. They need to know that in advance before this happens so that at least you all have the benefit of hearing from people who are other than those of us who are very core central to this thing. And the last thing I want to say is just the issue of the property taxes. With all due respect, with the issue of the property taxes, what that told is what could happen if you all agreed to rezone whatever came in here, but it doesn't talk about what would happen otherwise. And this is not a reason to vote for it or against it. If like, this is an arbitrary number, if 10 cents on the tax rate would raise $1 million, these are wrong numbers, then once you contract your tax base, however much, that 10 cents may now need to be may need to be 13 cents in order to get to that $1 million. And it's not going to be on the area that could have been developed, whether it should have been developed or not. The last time we had a property tax increase was Tommy Shumpert's first year of his second term. We've been able, arguably, to avoid a tax increase because this county has been able to grow. Now, if you go this route and there is a constriction of the tax rate, whatever that amount is, that money does not become burdened on those properties that have the protection layout. It becomes a burden on West Hills and Beverly Acres, Martha Washington Heights, and of course commercial and stuff. It is that the part that, not the reason to do it, and it's not the reason not to do it, but you need to know that in order to make a knowledgeable decision about something that has this far-ranging effect. And the only other final thing, and I know I've rant, absolutely, there have been cities, we need to have a slope protection. We need to have something that's much more aggressive than we have now. The only thing I would say as a caveat is that the city that is judged to be the most livable city in the United States now, and can make me puke, but for 2 years, or in 2 out of the last 3 years, Pittsburgh. And if you didn't have slope protection, if you didn't have slope development there wouldn't be a Pittsburgh. Thank you all for letting me talk.
Anyone else?